far away from that when we use the word value. I need one of you close enough to me. I need one of you close enough to me. So if I ever need to say something, I can. So my goal at the end of my 20 minutes is to inspire you. I like to say the goal so that if I don't achieve it, you can pull me back and say I didn't get it. Yeah. It keeps you accountable when you're the leader and you learn. To inspire you to become aware of progressive and positive nation building, and to simplify your understanding of what values are and how to use them as a tool in your nation. What is a nation? I'm sure we were all thinking we were coming to change Nigeria and Afghanistan and a nation is a large body of people united by common descent, history, culture, language, and inhabiting in a particular territory. Does that change your mind now? Do you think now that it's possible that you can be a nation builder? Now, thinking of Nigeria doesn't scare you anymore, because a lot of people, when they saw the plan, they're like, Theodore, you have started again. Which one is nation building? And if all of us, there's how many of us in this room? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Go back, and in our space, where we have common descent, that's our father's house, our grandfather's house, our great-grandfather's compound, if you are Igbo. Common history, that's our local government, or our alumni association. Am I helping you see your nation? Common culture, that's the people that will go to religious institutions together, or that we go to village meetings together for those who have villages that have meetings. Common language, the people who we speak the same as, and a lot of us here speak more than one language. Right? I don't even speak my language. The only Nigerian language I speak is not my language. So if I was saying I'm waiting for my language people before that, then I won't do anything. I'm inhabiting in a particular territory. So if I live in Bakirwa is my nation. Can you just see how easy this is now? Before I start to ask you to do all the value work, does this just make you believe it's something you can do? The common denominator here is we're united by something common. So it doesn't matter where you find yourself. In this era where people are Japan, even if you're Japan, you find someone with you that you have a common culture. If you practice the same faith, that's common culture. If we believe the same things, it's common culture. It doesn't have to be we are both Igbo, or we are both Yoruba, or we are both Hausa. Remember now our welcome note where we talked about making sure our values are not politically motivated. Because where I am on the map is politically decided. It wasn't my choice. It wasn't any of us' choice. Where we are as Nigeria was not any of us' choice. Yes. So it's so if we limit our values and what we want to do with our values or through our values to political motivation, do you think we're going to build? And that's why we've been suffering. That's why we've been suffering across the different sectors of our country. And this is not a Nigerian only problem. I've taught in other countries, so I know it's an everywhere problem. It's an every business problem. Because you're doing the business and the man who is selling the water doesn't realize that if I gather all the bottles, if I tell my customers to bring back all the empty bottles from their house, he can sell it to the scavenger who goes around picking bottles, and the bottles will be healthier. So when the kunu seller is recycling it, we have healthier kunu. He would keep a basket in front of his shop and tell us every time we go to buy it, bring your bottles back. People keep tissue rolls for me. When I go, they say, Chadora, I've gathered plenty, come and take tissue roll. You know the brown part inside. People keep it for me. You can start keeping some. Because they know I use it. Yeah. In my house, that's my cotton holder. In my office, that's my pencil case. Just to inspire you. The goal is change your perspective about nation before you even become a nation builder. Once you change that perspective, you become more empowered to make impact. The reason why we haven't been able to do much is we're waiting until we join APC or PDP or volunteer like Mr. Zin. Some of us may never have the time to volunteer. Do you agree? Yes. Yeah, because you're busy running your business, running your family, doing your career. Pastor cannot live his church water. See, he handed over an entire school. You know what that means? Actually, don't you wish you knew him then? So you just take the school. And that's like so much to let go of. So we're busy doing so many things, but in those so many places, have I changed something before I bring the next one? What are values? The regard with which something is held, the usefulness of a thing, and the importance of a thing. And I highlighted regard, usefulness, and importance because it is possible for something to be useful but not important, depending on what nation it is at. Mr. Bamidele's cap is useful but not important to Mr. Paul right now. And then the regard. And it is possible for something to be important and useful and not regarded. Eating onions and tomatoes is good for our body. It is important and it is useful for our body. But I'm sure it's not regarded by a lot of us in this room. Turning off the light switch when we're walking out of our office or classroom or business center is important. For many reasons, economic reasons, safety reasons, but it's not regarded. So we cannot say we have successfully imbibed a value if we do not hold it with these three legs: regard, usefulness, and importance. And that's why sometimes you meet someone and you say, he's very well behaved, but then you think he's disrespectful. Have you met people like that? That you know that, from your judgment of them, you think, but then they do something and you're wondering, that's because there's no regard for that thing. I walked in here this morning and I thought, why not? Let's burn our incense so that the place can smell fresh, because I don't know whether they keep air freshener or not. Is it important? To me, maybe yes. Maybe to some people, like, what's that? Right? So we who now know what our nation is must now decide, how do I want to do anything differently? Personally, as a business, as a career, as a leader, influencer, staff, cleaner, whatever you are, with regard, understanding of its usefulness and importance. That just changes how you see a lot of things. Do you think it would be easier now to make that suggestion to your partners when you want to do a business? Do you think it would be easier now to decide what business you want to do? Do you think it would be easier now to inspire your staff to do differently? Because now the next time you give a rule, you won't just send a memo for them to sign. You will show them the regard they must have for it, the use of it, and why it is important. Then they're able to uphold it as a value. That brings me to my nice story. Why do we need values? Values guide our choices. They guide our decision making. They form a template for our lifestyle. They help to create a standard. And they enhance social cohesion. Do we all know what cohesion means? Yes. And if our lives are guided by these values, is it not important that we take it seriously? How we not only show by our lives that we imbibe these values, but also transfer the values. Your children, your staff, your marketing team, even if it's a consulting firm you bring in, will not go beyond the memo or the briefing that you have given them as to what is important to you. And so you as the educator, the influencer, the business owner, the leader, must be very clear. What do you hold in high esteem? One part. Second part, which is the education part, the value education, that's why we call it that, is I'm going to now make sure I transfer these things that I consider important to me to everybody else. In my team, in my family, in my business, in all your different spaces. Even if you work alone on your business, transfer it on paper so that when the thing starts to come, the systems are already there. Some of the values we need, and I have no monopoly of values, but I know that a lot of you are already thinking of things like being truthful, and give me some and honesty, and what else? And hardworking. So, right? So I'm hoping that I have written the one that I imagined that you wouldn't have thought about. And then you can add it to all the other ones you write, because I know you're all genius. Simplicity. And I try to put them in sequence, and I hope I'm able to explain that. We must ensure that the regard and the importance and the usefulness of whatever it is clearly communicated and understood and implementable across the different spheres. And in case you're still thinking what is spheres, your family, your relationship with people, your business, your staff, your consultants. Ever felt bad for paying consultant big money and not seeing the outcome? Yeah, because your values were not clearly communicated. You just think because they are experts, they should know this thing. Even if you bring me and I'm expert, if what is important to you is not clearly stated, you still will not get what you want. So simplicity with your staff. Don't just give them handbook. Don't just start a business. Even to yourself, sit with yourself and say, what is the business I want to do? How do I do it? What skills do I need to do it? Who are my partners? Who are the people who will patronize it? How will I express this expression of the business? Big English, tautology there. Yeah? How will I show it for everything? Because sometimes even we complicate our understanding of what is important to us. Be clear. How do I want to look? How do I want to be regarded? You have to first be clear. So it starts with you. If you're able to honor yourself with that gift of simplicity, you will now easily. I have something I say with my soon-to-be 8-year-old. When we're enjoying easy things, we say this is the life Jesus died for. You know, like, it's easy, man. But it's only easy after you've understood it. So you must sit with yourself. I put on the group, I say, come with new book. If you don't have new book, carry cardboard paper and here for you. When you go back, staple it, stick it, or transfer it to a book. If you need to buy a book with your business name in it, only for writing your business or your personal name, because some of us, our business and us, we're still tied together like service students, whatever. But be clear to yourself, and then you are now going to, if you're able to give yourself the gift of that simplicity, what is important to me? How is it useful to me? And please, I want to add here, what is important to you at time will change. As you grow as a person, as you grow as a business, as you grow as a career person, what is important? What was important to me 16 years ago as a class teacher was not what was important to me 10 years ago as a trainer working in a training center. And it's not what is important to me now as the lead trainer for Teacher Durable. And then the next value is awareness, mindfulness, and presence of self. They all kind of sort of mean the same thing. To ensure that you're able to sustain your values. I'm very big on seeing leaders live sustainable lives. Anybody who is on the Teacher Dora Hub group or in our reading community, that's one word I use all the time. Sustainable, successful life. It only comes when you're aware. What is awareness? That I know what I want to do. I may not know how to do it, but because I know what I want to do, and every day that I get up and I'm doing things, I remind myself what I want to do, what I need to do, what is my value. Because I know it, I'm making decisions with that awareness. You see? So, you know that thing that you look at some people and they look like they're nice and perfect and they always know? No, it's awareness. When I'm aware, the likelihood of mistake is less. And even when you make mistakes, the mistakes are safe, right? But if you forget, if you walk out of this room, remember all the values that you talked about, honesty, blah, 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 in addition to all the ones you're discovering now, and now forget that I need to be mindful, you will lose it. You will stay mindful all the time, all the time, all the time. That's the only way you can replicate continuous living as a business, as a leader, as an individual. This year at Teacher Dora Hub, our theme is the year of the leader. Every year we have a theme, so it guides all of our activities. And I keep saying to everybody around us, yeah, the leader, if you fix you, your business will be better, your family will be better, your children will be better, your decision making will be better. Even the choice of training that you attend will be different. Because you know, sometimes, especially for those of us in the education industry, we want to be everywhere, learn everything, do everything. We don't want to carry last. You must carry last in something. There's something called JOMO, JOMO, the joy of missing out. Huh? You must enjoy missing out, but you cannot wisely decide what you are going to miss out on if you are not clear what is your value. And so that's why awareness is a value. So you don't have all the sense and now not be aware, then you become like a child as well. Maintenance. To ensure we do not forget our values, we must imbibe the value of maintenance. So when we write in our books today, when we go home, whether you transfer it to the wall in your room or your office or your study, or you save it on your phone, or you just carry your book and every day you sit with it. One thing I have on my schedule is I have a day where I sit to read my notebook. My book where I write all the ideas that come in my head. I have a day, I have 2 hours in the week when that is the job for that time, to read it again. So otherwise you will have 1 billion books. There's so many great ideas, but you don't remember all. Then later you go and talk to someone, you say, I thought of that thing. So you will read it again. If you read it again, you won't forget it. It's there, it's there, it's there. So you must maintain yourself. It's a value, maintaining yourself, because it is from you you will lead. It is from you you will inspire. It is from you, that community, that impact is coming from you. So you must develop the value, give maintaining yourself regard, importance, and you're useful. Are you not useful? You're useful. If you don't have children, you're useful to your business. If you don't have business, you're useful to your boss. If you don't have a boss, you're useful to your mother. If you don't have a woman, you're useful to us. If you don't have wife, children, you're useful to your girlfriend. You used to buy her data.
Or you're useful to the economy as a consumer.
Do you know what I mean? You're buying Indomie and biscuits. This morning I saw a joke about how biscuit companies are not complaining about economy. They just reduce the number of biscuits in the pack and leave us to struggle with complaining. Leadership. This one we talk about a lot, but we forget some elements of it. A lot of times when we talk about leadership, we, the MDs, the lead trainers, all those big titles we give ourselves, we do all the leadership trainings. We forget that leadership is in 2 sides. There's present time leadership, which is all of us in this room. There's after you. And then we just imagine that all of a sudden, after 10 years or 15 years, all of a sudden, my child should just want to do this business, or my staff, they've been working with me for 10 years. They should just be happy now. I hear that a lot from business now. They should just be happy. I give them this allowance. Even me, I've left a job that gave me a house. They gave me a house and 50% discount on my son's school fees. I left the job. In fact, in my resignation letter, I added to them, please give me extra 6 months to pack out. They were angry, but I left it. So understand that leadership, present time and transfer. So you must be systematic in the transfer. Your children will not just become like you. Your staff will not just become like you. Your consultants will not just understand what you're saying. Your business will not just suddenly become like you. It is systematic. You say, okay, how do I get them interested in this? What do I do? They are not interested, inspired. Notice the words we've used a lot today. Inspire, I'm not saying manipulate, corner, pressure. You just sit down and talk about it. I'm going to use my son again because according to our job, you can't use too many people with privacy. Teachers understand their role, right? So I'll use my son. We sit down every Thursday and we have a family meeting. And he comes with a note. Before he went to this morning, he asked me, that meeting again, is it adults? I said, yeah, it's adults. He said, okay, good luck. And we sit at the family meeting and we now discuss. There's an extra chair here. Maybe he can be over there. We sit and we discuss what is important. So I remember when I was developing content for my website, he will sit on my laptop. There's a folder, Baruch Business Ideas. And so he will write his own when he comes back. I don't interrupt. And he will read my own. Then, of course, sometimes he repeats everything I've written in his own, but that's fine. When the website was ready, he didn't know that. After some months, I just told him, baby, it's ready, have a look. And he said to me, you should see his face that day. Mom, you paid him already? How much did you pay him? And I'm looking at him like, bros, it's not your money. So, we must understand. So he tells people I'm Teacher Dora Hub Manager. So I make a joke with my team that he's going to be a bully when he's older. The staff, I don't envy them. So what am I saying? It's deliberate, inspired. I've seen school owners, big, beautiful schools. Laurel is one of such schools, and their hearts are broken because they have children who don't want to be part of the business. And it's not their fault. And yes, children or staff members or your team members, so you don't say, I don't plan to build my business for my children, I'm just going to sell it out. That's okay. Even if you plan to sell it out, nobody's just going to want to be interested in your business. You are going to have to pitch it. You are going to have to inspire the person to want what you have. And so when we're talking about leadership as a value, we must understand present time and leadership transfer. So you don't start planning the leadership transfer when you're ready for the transfer. You're tired and old. And maybe spent all your money. I remember doing a job for some school at Katampe, and then the woman used to be director of printing and minting, so I'll leave you to imagine the kind of money she has. And her children had schooled in France and things, so they're all just bougie like that. And none of them would work in the school. She used to cry in her office. She used to pay me just to come and look at the school. I used to feel bad for her. It was such a waste of money. Because if you call me, you will pay, right? I can give you nice discounts, but you will pay. And I wasn't teaching. I didn't have the time. She knew. She said, just be around, because she was too old. Her feet were swollen, so she can't attend to parents, and there was no plan. So leadership as a value is not something you want to forget. You want to be mindful that present time I'm here, I'm doing it. Who am I putting? Who am I putting behind that person? Because sometimes we say I'm here, and this person can break your heart. So you need to have this person, like 15 of them. They said, experience. You need to have like 15 of them. And it's easy. with that is because we're trying to give everybody a title. Don't give them a title. Just give them the work to do. We're so quick to put title. Remember, what was the first value we learned? Who remembers? Simplicity. It was simplicity. So don't give the title, but give them the job to do. Because remember, what is the value? Leadership transfer. It means that I need to have tested that you can deal with it before I leave it to you. So if I give you the job to do, I'm watching you do 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I taught parent workshops over 15 times in a school called Little Explorers, Accra, Ghana, before my boss said, come here, I think you should go for the trainer's course. And you know what? She was French, so she doesn't really understand English. She was a bilingual school. So when you want to take those sessions, you will teach her in her office. She will hear the whole thing. Before you, it used to look ridiculous. You know, it's like, Madam, really, teacher Karen. And because she doesn't understand English, you have to break it down very well because she's French, her CPU is in French. Anybody ever had a conversation with a French person? Yeah, the way they process things is different. Do we agree? Yeah? That's why they look like they're aggressive. It's because the way they process is different. So you have to be deliberate, present time, and what is the plan after that? And the plan after that has to, don't say, it's my first child, it's my best staff, all them best staff people, is the most qualified. I don't have a PhD. Professors have sat under my training. In all humility, I don't have a PhD. I probably won't have an half set in maybe another 4 or 5 years. I'm not even trying to yet. The next value we're going to talk about is responsibility. And I put here developing responsibility quotient. Because when we hear responsibility, we just think Mr. Zinniat is a social worker, he's supposed to have sense and know how to be kind and polite. And he should just know. People just don't become responsible. You will teach them to be responsible. Now, bear in mind that there's no curriculum anywhere that says, Mr. Zinniat, Mr. Mahmoud, this is how to become responsible. Which means you must guide them to the place where they have to do the work. In doing the work, they build their responsibility quotient. Big English. Responsibility capacities. And the more I build it, the more I become what you now call a responsible person. The more I do it, don't solve all my problems. Just bring them to the place where they have to solve the problem. And push and push and push. I love Saturday mornings because my son fries my egg and brings it to my bed. It's such a delight. I love it. Whether I want to eat or not, I eat. I eat with Jesus during my heart. I'm like, yeah, I'm made. This is it. One woman is going to enjoy it. And then transfer. What we do a lot of times with our staff, with our consultants, with our team leaders, is we just tell them, go and do this, and expect them to do the magic. And then we get angry that they're not responsible. They don't know how to take initiative. Is this sounding like how you know? They don't take initiative. I still have to be there. I'm micromanaging them. I'm losing money. Then you get anxious. Then you're VP. Then we now build that nation we want to build. Then you know the sad part. Then you're not making money. You know micromanaging makes you lose money as a businessman. You lose money if you have to micromanage. So how about we show them the value of keeping the matters closed? Very silly example, but because there's a lot more educators in this room, I'll use that. So that when you tell them that if I see 5 markers open, even if there's no marker, I won't buy marker, we'll use chalk. Because we're always afraid to enforce consequence. And so nobody becomes responsible. Responsibility quotient only grows when you enforce the consequence. You have to be a bad guy sometimes. What was that thing we talked about in the beginning? Kind and fair. She said that very well. You have plans for them. So your responsibility quotient will grow to the degree at which you're aware of what is important. Remember what we said values are important, useful, and regarded. So when you've shown them what is important, useful, and regarded, drop them with the work. Remember, we said our values teach us, give us standard, right? When we talked about why we need values, if it gives us standard, then I'll show you what is the value and drop the work. Then I'm helping you. By giving you the work, I'm now transferring responsibility. Because when you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, before I got to the point where I could lie on my bed and they bring me the eggs, I used to have to stand and say, turn it, are you sure you don't need help? Are you sure you want to put the Milo? I can't eat egg with Milo, and I can't, and please don't put turmeric in my egg. But now they know the standards, it just comes. So I've developed the quotient and I've transferred the responsibility. And as silly as my example is, it's the same thing you will apply with your consultant, with your coach, with your staff, with your children. Remember what we said a nation is, our one common place. And then discipline. We must first build self-discipline and then community discipline. Nation discipline. If we said our nation is a group of any of us that have common language, common culture, it means that we need to have some discipline to stay together. All of us have to have the same understanding. And we've also said that our values help us to create standards. Now we're going to use that standard of what is useful, regarded, and important to create the consequence so that there's discipline. If there's no discipline, there's no social cohesion. If anybody can do what they like, then there's no social cohesion. And we're not witch hunting anybody, we're just saying this is what is important and this is the consequence of not doing it. You do it, hooray, we are happy. You don't do it. It's the same thing with your consultant. It's the same thing with your staff. It's the same thing. So when you're sitting in that meeting and giving all the instructions, you have to attach to it all of the consequence so they become aware. Not all the consequence should be the money, even though I know that the money is like the final pepper. That one makes them behave. But make sure that, what is that our favorite word for today? You inspire them beyond the money effect, so that after a while you've transferred. When you are able to transfer that value, then you have built your nation. Does it make sense?
Yes.
And then honor. This one, God help us. We must teach people to respect themselves. Out of the respect of yourself, you will be able to respect other people. And like we said when we talked about simplicity as a value, we said it's not about dignifying a beautiful bongo, right? It's about the character of the person. So we must teach them that this is what we want to respect. So there's a lot of school owners here. I'm a school owner. We're not going to treat children differently by the content of their snack bag. I hit some people there. We're not going to treat children different by who is dropped off by a car or who is not dropped off by a car. Or whose father has 4 wives and whose father has no wife. Or who doesn't even have a family. We are going to respect all. We are going to teach ourselves, teach our team members. Only after we as leaders and the team members have imbibed this, can we now transfer that to our children and our community. That we are not above anybody. We are not beneath anybody. People are so bad. Are you? We're the same. So we're going to teach them to look. It will determine how you guide them. It will determine what decisions they are making, how you're making it. The next time you're planning an event, it will determine what investment you put into it. The next time you're thinking of who you want to invite to come and speak at your speech and prize event, you think about that. Can we see how this just transfers into the next time you're thinking about what coaching program you want to sign up for as a business person? You think about that. What is important for you? And remember, we said what is important changes. And then we must have a desire and a love for learning. The only way you can sustain everything that you want to be is to continue to love to learn. continue to love to learn. And I just want to say, I already said this earlier, how the internet has brought us and we think everything is just accessible. I've put here, the exposure should be to relevant, fit for your purpose. You cannot know everything. Practice JOMO. The joy of missing out. It should be something you practice. And when you wake up, write a JOMO list if you want. The joy of missing out. It takes away the anxiety and the pressure from your life. So your learning should not be just, I just want to learn. People come to me and say, oh, I want to start a business. What can you do for me? I say, okay, well, what are the skills you have? What excites you? Because sometimes the skills you have may not necessarily be what you would do well doing as a business. What are the skills? Then they say, but you asked me the skills. These are the skills I have now. I like music, so maybe I should just start a music school. I'm like, no. What would you like to do, whether you're happy or not? Okay, for some of us, it's the same thing on both sides, but for a lot of people, it's not the same. So make sure that whatever learning you're doing is relevant for the goal that you have, for the things that are important, useful, and you hold in high regard to yourself, your business vision, your individual vision, your family vision, your children vision, in case you don't have one. We teach that as our family legacy program. We teach you how to have a vision for yourself, for your family, for your children. So by the time they are 10, 7, 8, you're not shouting anymore, they're on autopilot. All you're doing is making sure that they are not going off the track. And in this generation, you need to be fierce about that. Because prayer alone will not solve your problem. And then we must have a love and value for research and scholarly work. And this is particularly important. I say to educators and influencers, you who must be teacher must be master knowledgeable. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. That's one thing I love about Nigeria. I've known Nigeria how many years now? Like 5 years. Look at that. She has a money in Teacher Hub. Her money is just there. When she sees one flag, she say, hey, I still have something thousand. Just deduct it from. One day I said, she sent her, my sister said, let's send her an email saying she doesn't use money, the money is expired. I said, but it doesn't expire. It's just there. When she sees book club, I want book clubs. She doesn't have time, but she wants everything.
Yeah.
But everything relevant to what she did. I knew she did a PGD one time. You finish now. Then she's just doing things relevant. So let your research work, your scholarly work, be towards the things that are valuable to you. And then integrity. We should be truthful in all things at all times. We must encourage truthfulness in all things and at all times. And we must take away the fear of judgment. There will be consequence, which we must make very clear, but we will not judge. Do we understand the difference? So sometimes people misinterpret that consequence as you being judgmental. No. It is consequence. You spill the water, it will pour on your leg. I'm not judging you, it has poured on your leg. I can see it has poured on your leg. Clean the leg. So we should take away the fear of judgment, but insist that. Okay, and how do we use value as a tool? It shapes our community mindset. It helps everybody, the team, the family, wherever your own community is to align. It fosters trust. If we know that we all have the same goal, we trust each other. That's the best way to trust. And so I never worry about who is leaving me. I remember my immediate direct admin assistant leaving me last year. And one of my clients from the World Bank called me and said, I'm so angry. Why would she leave? And then I saw that she posted something hub. She can't even change the name. She's even using the same name like you. She was helping me to vex. I'm not even going to start worrying. The bigger your team, the more of that you will see. My mentor said to me, and I'll share this with you, get comfortable with people standing on your shoulders to jump over. But what you will do to achieve your goal, ensure your values are clear so that you can trust. It doesn't matter when they want to go, how they want to go. But at the time that they're with you, because the values are clear, the expectation is clear, we can build our community in trust. If you're a politician, this will save you plenty headache. If you're a business owner, this will save you plenty headache. If you're a teacher, this will save you plenty headache. If you're a school owner, you need it even times 5. Because you have the parents to deal with and the staff to deal with. And then it helps you measure your success. It helps you, I'm sure Mr. Zinnet will tell you how that is very important in social work. And it regulates people's behavior. When values are clear, people's behaviors are regulated, and yes, it inspires outcome. So you're not shouting, but you're getting the results you want. But if you just told them, please be honorable, be hardworking, how do you measure hardworking? Is there a measuring tape for hardworking? It's your values. There's no measuring tape for hardworking. So, ask yourself, where are you on the value list? What changes do you need to make? And please, when I sit down, Mr. Zinnia stands up now to lead you into the individualized value plan. Take it personally and take it seriously. In fact, I want to share this myself so that there'll be extra charge on the paper when you get it. Thank you. Okay, so this is the part where I invite Mr. Hilary Zinnia. For those of us who came late, Mr. Hilary is a poet, a children's writer, and I remember him more as a social worker. He's just amazing. He's the chief consultant for UFEC, and he's my friend. For 2 years, we'll be following each other in the dark, and today we're meeting him. What is it? Unfocused educational outcome. So
Unfocused educational outcome.
Use uncle as the uncle. Yes, as the uncle.
Yes.
Our
The head of Uncle Otto.
No.
Okay. He's the inspiration, actually. Yes.
Okay. So you have your pencils and everything. Be very truthful with your paper.
We have the soft copy. Oh. I sent it to you on WhatsApp.
This is Canada laptop.
Okay. And look up. Okay, we're
I have
making.
a cord.
Okay, you have.
Okay, you want to connect that?
Yes, we're looking at getting it
Okay, so that you can have
on
it up.
on this thing.
Can we try to do that?
And we have barely 15 minutes
Okay.
because.
Yeah, because the people have to pray as well.
Yes. So we'll not
We'll be quick
overflow
around. Yeah.
issues. Yeah.
Will this code work?
Okay, you don't need to worry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
just-
follow on your
Yes, I have mine too.
Great.
Hello? Is that something? Okay. So, before everyone is with